Dear Evan Hansen was directed by Steven Chbosky, and it stars Ben Platt as the title character, and this is based off of the Broadway musical of the same name, which Ben Platt was also in the Broadway musical, and they also decided to bring him back for the movie. So that's all I can say. So let's talk about it. In the movie, excuse me. In this movie, here is in the movie, Evan Hansen, who's a senior in high school, and he has severe anxiety until he writes a letter in school, and then he meets Connor Murphy for the first time. But then him and Connor don't even know each other, and Connor took his own life by committing suicide, and they created a memorial for him. But then they was like, Evan Hansen, we was wondering if you can like create a speech for Connor Murphy's memorial, and then what happened is all these things that Evan Hansen is talking about with Connor Murphy's family is a lie, but not just his family, but also the people around him in high school. It's just a lie, and then the lie got a lot worse, and now we got a movie. I was really looking forward to seeing this movie but actually, this movie felt familiar to me, but then I was just like, when I was looking at the posters and the trailer for this movie, I was just like, Dear Evan Hansen. But then I was like, you know what? After I watched the trailer, I said, you know what? I'm going to check it out. I want to see if it's any good as In the Heights. But In the Heights was as a great movie. But then this movie, but I think Dear Evan Hansen, I heard it got bad reviews. And I'll tell you why. After I watched the whole entire movie, I walked out of there like, I said, you know what I said? I said, oh, I see why this movie got bad reviews. But then I said, now I see why this movie got bad reviews. But then I felt really bad for this movie. This movie's not as good as In the Heights. I think In the Heights and Hairspray were really good musicals, were really good musical movies. But Dear Evan Hansen was also like kind of awkward to me. But I think the singing and the acting I will talk about in a minute. I think the musical of this movie looks fantastic. I did listen to some of the songs from the Broadway musical. From the Broadway musical a little bit. I think the only songs I only listened to was Sincerely Me and You Will Be Found. I think You Will Be Found was one of the most interesting songs I liked the most. But then when I was listening to the soundtrack for this movie, I was just like, I think they put some of the new songs they put some of the new songs that wasn't part of the musical in the movie. But then I think the songs in the movie felt really more. I think the songs in the movie could have felt heartfelt, but I think some of the songs in the movie do feel heartfelt. But some of the songs in the movie didn't feel a little bit heartfelted a little bit. But I love the songs in the movie. I think they did a really good job with the musical score and the singing, and I think that's all I can say is. Now let's start off with the actors and the characters. Let's start off with Ben Platt as sorry. Excuse me. Let's start with Ben Platt as Evan Hansen. My only question is, why is he in this? Okay, I know he was Evan Hansen in the Broadway musical, but in the movie, I'm just like, okay, Ben Platt is in his late 20s in the movie. I'm sorry, not in the movie. In real life. My bad. Ben Platt is in his late 20s in real life, but in the movie, they decided to bring him back, which I meant to say. It's nice to see him back as Evan Hansen from the Broadway musical, but I think they're going to cast someone else to play his character. But Ben Platt, I think Ben Platt did a really good job with his acting. I really liked his acting in the movie, because you can actually feel, you do feel bad for him because he has social anxiety in the movie. But in this movie, but basically in the movie, I think he did a really good job. I think his acting is really good. I really liked his singing. His singing is great, like it was in the Broadway musical. But in the movie, I think he took those songs that he sung in the Broadway musical and put it in the film, and I think he did a really good job with it. And I really liked his singing in the movie, and that's all I can say. Ben Platt's really good in the movie, but I feel like the makeup of him, I'm just like, what's with the? I'm like, okay, I get that you're in your late 20s, dude, in real life, but what's with the makeup? You know what? I don't know. But anyway, he's good in this movie. But I do want to talk about Kaitlyn Dever in this movie. Kaitlyn Dever as Zoe is really good in this movie. I feel like Kaitlyn Dever is as Zoe in the movie. I thought she did. I thought she was really great in her singing. I really loved her singing. I feel like her singing felt heartfelt a little bit in the movie. But I feel like some of her song, I think some of the words on her, I think some of her singing felt more heartfelt, but some of them just felt, I don't know. But I don't know anything about the Broadway musical or any of the characters that much. But all I know is I watched the movie, but I didn't watch the Broadway musical because I looked up the Broadway musical actually. But her in this movie, I thought Kaitlyn Dever was great in this movie, and all I can say is she's really great. That's all I can say. And I do want to say Nick Dodino, no Don Danny, whatever his last name is, I forgot. So I thought he was really good in this movie. And he was hilariously funny in this movie. Hang on a second. I thought, even though I liked him in this movie, he's more like the comedy relief of the film, and he only made me laugh probably at least probably at least one or two or three times in the movie. I thought he was hilarious. And here we have here is Amy Adams. I think here we have here is Amy Adams in the movie. She's really good in this movie, but sometimes she just felt a little bit cheesy at sometimes, or I feel a little bit for. She feels like she's just like, well, Connor, tell more. No, I'm sorry. She's like, Evan, tell more stories about Connor Murphy. You and Connor Murphy, what y'all been doing this whole time, and whatever. Oh, we've been hanging out, whatever. I don't know. But I think Amy Adams was really good in the movie, but she just asked so many weird, she just asked like Evan she just asked Evan, just tell more stories, tell more stories, tell more stories. And I'm like, I'm looking at her like, okay, I think we get it. I think we get about the stories. Let's move on. Yeah, but anyway, and also we have her husband played by here is her husband played by Danny Pino, who's really good in this movie as well. Um, all I can say that all I can say is I really liked his singing as well in the movie, and that's pretty much it. And his acting is really good in this movie as well. And also we have Colton what's his name? Colton Ryan as Connor Murphy. To my opinion, I thought he was a perfect choice for Connor Murphy. But I was like, I thought he was a perfect choice. That's all I can say is I think to my opinion, he only sung for at least once, and that's it. He only sung at least once in the movie, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, that's it? Okay. Probably at least once or twice. I don't know. But, and also, last but not least, last but not least, Amanda Stenberg. Man, I liked her in this movie. I liked her in this movie way better than she was in The Darkest Minds. But in this movie, she did way better in this movie. And I really liked her singing and acting in this movie as well. But all the actors, I think some of the actors like in their late 20s in the movie, the actors in the movie who go to the high school in the movie, I feel like they're in their late 20s. I don't know how old they are, but Ben Platt's in his late 20s. All I can know is he's in his late 20s. I think some of these actors are in their late 20s because they feel like college students, in my opinion. But Kaitlyn Dever in this movie, I feel like she's more of like a little bit more like a high school or college student in the movie. I'm not talking about her. I'm not talking about the actress herself. I'm talking about the character. I'm just like, okay. She's good in the movie, but I feel like she's more of a college student. I feel like they more like in their late 20s and more like a little bit like college students in the movie. And I think that's it for the actors and the characters. But the rest of the movie, like the rest of the film, this entire movie, I'm like, now I see why this movie got bad reviews, because in my opinion, I did not like the ending of the movie. I think the ending of the movie felt more quick paced. I'm not gonna tell you about the ending of the movie. You gotta watch the whole movie. The ending of the movie feels more fast paced. It feels more quick, like it's just in a rush. And I'm like, wait, that's it? After I watched that ending thing, I'm just like, That's it. That's it. That's all y'all got. I think the ending scene of the movie feels more cheesy. I think that ending scene, I did not like it. I did not like the ending scene of the movie. I think it could have been more slowed down and just relax a little bit, but not really. It didn't relax. It just in a rush. And that's it. And the plot of the movie feels a little bit weird to me, but all I can say is the plot of the movie, I'm just like, I think the plot of the movie felt a little bit weird and a little bit awkward to me, and I think that's it for the plot. And the rest of the movie, the story of the movie felt a little bit out of hand a little bit, but I feel like they could have got the story a little bit way better as the Broadway, could have make it as good as the Broadway musical, but they probably most likely didn't. I didn't watch the Broadway. I don't know anything about the Broadway musical that much, but I didn't watch the Broadway musical. But who those fans are out there, if you're a fan of Dear Evan Hansen, the musical itself, you might like the movie. If you like the Broadway musical, you might go into this movie expecting just like what the hell did I just look at right now? And why is Ben Platt back? I don't know. I don't blame him. It's not his fault. I don't blame Ben Platt for being in this movie. I don't blame the guy. I mean, I understand I think he wanted to come back for the character unless unless they probably have him come back. I don't know. That's all I can say. And I like the chemistry between Evan Hansen and Zoe. I thought the chemistry between them feels more loving, feels more heartfelt. In my opinion, I think it feels more lovable and heartfelt. And there's some really good messages. There's some messages in the movie. I think the messages in the movie, all I can say is I like I like some of the messages in the movie, but mostly the messages. I want the messages to feel more heartfelt. I want the messages to be more heartfelt for the film. I was like, no, the messages in the movie, like, which means you're not alone. You do feel bad. All I know is, like, Evan Hansen, you do feel bad for him because you can actually support the guy because he has social anxiety throughout in the movie. Like, sometimes he just, but then I think the message, all I can say is the messages in the movie, all I know is the messages in the movie feel great. I feel like the messages in the movie feel nice, but I think some of the messages in the movie could be a little bit cheesy at sometimes, but I think some of the messages in the movie feel more heartfelt, but the rest of the messages could have been fixed a little bit more. But all I can say is I like the musical and the songs in the movie, but I think some of the songs in the movie I think some of the songs in the movie I feel a little bit new. I think some of them new, and some of them were like old from the Broadway musical. But I don't know. I think might be a great movie, but this movie got bad reviews, and the music in the movie, the music and the songs in the movie feel good. I like the songs in the movie. I've listened to the soundtrack probably at least a couple of times. Not just from. I only listened to 2 songs for the Broadway musical, but for the movie, I think the songs for the movie feels like they came from the Broadway musical, which is great. All I can say is I think that's about it. I think that's about it for this movie review for Dear Evan Hansen. I think that's about it for the movie review. I'm sorry. I think that's about it for the movie review for Dear Evan Hansen. I think that's about it. So I think that's about it I think that's about it. All I can say is nothing much to say. I love the movie, but I think there's gonna be some stuff that could have been better and fixed up a little bit. But this movie is fresh. This is a fresh movie, but this is a good movie. But this movie can be. I think the movie is not that good, but I think this movie could have been better. But I think that's it for the. I think there's not so much to say about the movie for Dear Evan Hansen, and that's about it. So be sure to like, subscribe, press notification button, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video. Thank you for watching.